Hey guys, I wanted to share with y'all something that someone had posted on one of my YouTube videos, and I'll actually put the video in the description. And the reason I want to share this with y'all is to explain to you how to deal with people who are harassing you. Now, I had to get off Facebook a while back because I learned from there that there are many people who speak about the scriptures on there, but it's just a habitation of devils. It's just a networking site, and people on there aren't actually interested in befriending you, and that just became so obvious to me that I had to quit playing around on there. It was just not, there was no fruit at all coming from Facebook, I learned. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually pulling up a comment on my computer, and it's been a while since I've had a sit down like this with y'all, so I wanted to share with you a comment just to get you an idea of the kind of things that you'll begin to encounter when you tell people the truth on social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. And one of the most important features that they have on YouTube and Facebook is the block feature. Now, I'm not going to go over Facebook right now, but I'm going to show you on YouTube, because I'm going to read this comment from this person, and then I'm going to block them. And they're never even going to know that this video exists, and they'll never be able to see any of my videos, because unfortunately they have to be mean for no reason. And what I do when people start being mean is I just go ahead and block them, so that takes out unnecessary stress out of my life. So I'm almost there in my Gmail. Alright, so here we go. And I'm just going to read this to you because I think you'll find it interesting. So he says, "What an errant youth. I've been studying the King James Bible issue for 18 years, and this is the most ignorant video I've ever watched regarding the matter. This kid has a whole lot of heat, but no light of God. The King James translators did not corrupt the words of God. This kid doesn't seem to understand that the ecclesiastical terms were kept because those were the English words that were in use and regularly recognized by English Christians at the time. Translating the Greek ecclesia as church or congregation, both are accurate. What a know-nothing." So if you understand the climate of the times when the scriptures was translated and the people who were on the boards of the translators, you'll understand that Roman Catholicism were the people who were in charge of the English world at that time, and that the separatists, like the Quakers and the Puritans, were under persecution during the time of the translation. So the reason they use the word church is because that's a pagan Roman Catholic term. When they say church, they mean church. They mean the Greco-Roman setup, like the Grecian-Roman temples that they have, where the philosophers would stand up and give orations from their soapbox or the pulpit. And in that word bureaucracy, bureau, it means brown as in wood, and that's where we get the word bureaucracy. It has to do with the way that everything has been turned into clerk or clergy, and it has nothing to do with the election of God. So this person is referring to that, and he's saying that that's a correct term because he obviously believes in church. And we've shown the etymology of the word church comes from Circe, which I'll also post down in the description below. So, and he's calling me an errant youth, and he calls me a kid. And, kid means baby goat if you get down to it, but children, he's saying kid derogatorily, or in a derogatory fashion. He's not being nice in this comment, obviously. And I told him that I was going to block him because of the hate speech. And so he says, I said nothing that can be considered hate speech, boy. And you can't block someone on YouTube either. He put LOL. So his name is Nate Beck. Nate space Beck. Now, I just want you to know that, and you can see the LOL there, down at the bottom right here, LOL, and he calls me boy. So, the reason I'm teaching you this is because this kind of stuff used to get me upset, and now that I'm getting a little bit more mature as God strengthens me, and God's made me a little more gentle, so I don't let this bother me anymore. Like I used to get my heart beating fast, and I might say something mean back, but I just told him, I said, for this kind of hate speech, I'm going to block you. So, and that's when he replied, I said nothing that can be considered hate speech, boy, and you can't block someone on YouTube either, ha ha ha, LOL. That's what that means, right? Like he's laughing. So, and I'm not gonna lie, this kind of stuff, it hurts, it hurts my feelings. It wouldn't have used to hurt my feelings, I just would have got mad, right? But today, it hurts my feelings. It makes me sad when I see people post something mean like this, and when lamentations, like Jeremiah, in the book of Jeremiah, means an angry cry. And he comes back later and says, I'm sorry you consider what I said as hate speech. So that's obviously not a real apology. I'm sorry you consider what I said as hate speech. I don't know why he's even saying that. Maybe, it's on YouTube. It's trivial. If you didn't believe it, you wouldn't have said it in the first place, right? So, maybe I'll leave this up. Before I block them, and like I said, it's so trivial because it's just someone that I don't know on the internet who's kind of being mean, right? So I'll upload this first, and then I'll share it with them, and maybe he'll comment, maybe he'll say something kind, and then maybe I'll block him if he's continues to be hateful or continue posting things like this on my YouTube channel. But it looks like he might have actually deleted it as well. But I want this to be a lesson to fellow believers on the kind of hate you'll encounter, because a lot of people don't actually understand that the Bible wasn't originally in English. It was in Hebrew and Greek. And they've been brainwashed by the movement in the world that says KJV only. And this is just the kind of thing we're going to encounter as people get further and further away from understanding that Jesus was a Jew. He lived in a world that had been conquered by the Grecians and the Romans, and before that they had been conquered by the Babylonians and the Persians. But the reason it was in Greek at that time was because the Greeks had ruled the world for a long period of time after Alexander the Great had conquered that portion of the world. And then the Romans had taken over, so that's where the influence of Rome was on the scene at the time Jesus made his appearance. And before that, and the way that they kind of picked up ground was during the 400 silent years, they call it, between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And that's why, if you actually read the historical documents of the Maccabees, so, and even to understand some of the Greek language would help to understand how some of the Greek language got invented by the Stoics and the Epicureans, and the way it was used amongst them, and how it was those words were Christianized, so to speak, because that was the best language to convey the message of the New Testament. So I wanted to share this with you because I just want you to learn that the more you withstand the kinds of gross corruptions that we're dealing with, where people are still under the influence of Roman Catholicism of 1611 and King James time, and people don't know anything about that translating board of Roman Catholics and then compromising Puritans, because they would only let the compromisers go there with King James, because if you would have said anything against the church during that time, the Roman Catholic bishops would have taken counsel with the king, and you would have been put to death for treason, because the king was the head of state and the head of church. And so that's just interesting information. And the reason they kept the old ecclesiastical terms like office of the deacon and office of the bishop in church was because that was following in line of the Elizabethan Bible, which was the bishop's Bible. And that's why they didn't get rid of the old ecclesiastical terms, was because King James was the head of the church. The king was the head of the church during that time. So I hope that this helps, and thanks for watching. And if you watch this, Nate Beck, I hope that you understand a little bit more now about why I said some of the things that I said in that video. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.